I love Summerween, the readathon hosted by the Gabby Reads, and that justifies me binging thrillers all week. This year's prompts are to read a book in the dark, to read a thriller or horror, to read a book with a night sky on the cover, to read a book with 5 words in the title, and to read a book that takes place in the summer. It's July 5th, the official start to Summerween. We'll be kicking this readathon off with The Spare Room by Andrea Bartz to fulfill the prompt of to read a book that takes place over the summer. Disclaimer, don't know if this book takes place in the summer, but hear me out. We have a pool, and I know this book is set in DC. Take it from local, no sane person will be swimming in a pool unless it's late spring, early summer. So I think it's safe to assume that is the case. Also, if you're hearing any fireworks, yeah, around me, 4th of July lasted all week. Oh, also, if you could not tell, I'll be reading with a flashlight tonight for the to read a book in the dark prompt. Love that. Why hello, good morning. I'm sporting this year's Summerween shirt today. My nails kind of match the theme. Cute. Obviously not the band-aid, but my finger is still healing from the great car debacle of 24, so. It's a long story. Long story short, I may have slammed my finger in a car door. It was not a pretty sight. It was literally wedged in there. Also got some spooky socks on as well, because why not? Update on the spare room. I can confirm this book takes place over the summer. We have had a 4th of July, my friends. I'm now just over 100 pages in, so what is this book about? Set in the jolly good time frame of the pandemic, our protagonist Kelly is quarantining with her boyfriend. However, something happens between the two, so their relationship, it's not looking great. It was the first thing Kelly does about this. Vent about this to her recently re-befriended friend Sabrina. Yep. Mind you, she barely knows this gal, but still is like, my boyfriend and I, oh my god, we're on the outs. So Sabrina is like, you guys just need some space. How about you come stay in my mansion with my husband and I for a few weeks? So Kelly packs her bags, grabs her cat, and off she goes. But once she gets there, romance is in the air. And that is not just because Sabrina is a romance author, which love. But has this couple done this before? If so, what happened to their previous lover? And what does that exactly mean for Kelly? Yeah, the premise is unhinged, but in the best way possible. I am loving it. The story is fast-paced, addictive. It's been so long since I've read a thriller like this. It's just hitting in all the right spots. Kelly is kind of unstable, which understandable, like she's going through it in her long-term relationship. But guys, she has a cat, so she's grounded. She's just like you and me. Very excited to get back to this. But what will I not be doing? Just that. Last week, I was in Nova visiting my parents, so I did not get in much work YouTube-wise. When I go home, my routine, out the window and around the block, which is on me. I take full responsibility. I also need to unpack, as I've still yet to do that. Fun. But if we get all that done, then we can just vibe, which is what I want to be doing. I could also go to the pool. That would be a vibe. You see, we have to motivate ourselves with little rewards throughout the day. It's how I get through life. Good afternoon, good evening. It is 7:30. I got back from the pool a couple hours ago. That was definitely needed. I don't know if you can tell, but I don't go outside much. Tan, yeah, never heard of her, which I don't recommend. Like, my vitamin D levels are literally low. Last time I went to the doctor, she was like, Sara, you need to go outside more. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I've just hit the 175 page mark. Guys, this book is so good. It's salacious, intriguing, all the buzzwords. Isolation plays a big role in here because the relationship Kelly has gotten herself tangled up in has caused her to cut off everyone else in her life. So it's been interesting seeing how the author is mirroring the isolation of the pandemic to the isolation within this relationship. I do like seeing Kelly taking back her agency and not just following what she thinks society would want her to do. The manipulation in here and the imbalanced power dynamics. From the outside, you're like, girl, can't you see what's going on here? Like, get yourself out. Then again, that's easy to say when you're only given snippets of relevant information. This book just keeps getting better and better. Hello, hello. We're going to be doing some reading journaling today. Last year, I made a Summerween spread in my reading journal and it came out so good. So I wanted to do another one this year. I've also downloaded the Summerween 2024 stickers, which I cut out on my Cricut this morning. But I thought I would start my next book on audio while I'm working on it, as Libby really pulled through and had it available through my library. One of my libraries. Pro tip from Sara, if you're able to, get 2 library cards. I recently got a second library card in Harrisonburg. That's where I go to college. Oh my god, the choices. this. I feel like I shouldn't be able to do this, but I'm so happy I can. So for the read a book with the night sky on the cover and the read a book with a 5-word title, we're gonna metaphorically kill 2 birds with 1 stone and read Midnight's the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. All I really know about this is supposedly there's some type of vampire element in it. As someone who has never read Twilight, I feel like I am long overdue for some vampiric literature in my life.
We stayed up till the morning, talking till the first light of dawn. Just like fate without no warning, it hit me so hard. Oh, I'm so sorry, girl, I didn't mean to. I done messed it up again. Yeah, I'm sorry if I crossed the line. What am I supposed to do right now?
Here's what the spread's looking like so far. I was trying to just use leftover craft paper I had because I have a lot. This is what I came up with, and I'm actually really happy with it. I took inspiration from Midnight's the Darkest Hour with the moon and everything. Obviously, I'm not done, but so far so good. All right, I have finished The Spare Room. This novel is similar in some ways to a popcorn thriller in that it's fast-paced, all the fat's trimmed, so there's no extra nonsense. However, this has more commentary. The thriller aspect is the backbone of the story, but it's more so about going against the grain and not being afraid to rock the boat society has set forth. I'm giving this 5 stars, a 5-star thriller that is once in a blue moon. But if I gave this anything else, that would be wrong. That would be incorrect. This was so fun. Highly, highly recommend. Update on Midnight's the Darkest Hour. I'm liking it all right. We are basically following this girl, Ruth, who lives in this very religious southern small town. If you've read the Mindfuck series, the town in here reminds me a lot of the town in the later installments. I'm also getting like Where the Crawdads Sing vibes. Our girl Ruth is the preacher's daughter, so she has a lot of, pressure on herself to be an upstanding citizen. God forbid she does anything scandalous, such as teaming up with the outcast of the town, Everett, who is believed to be the son of the devil incarcerated, and solve the murder mystery around the skull that has just popped up in the local swamp. Ruth would never. The book's been a bit slow going, but I might just need to get into it more. I'm only like 50 pages in. I am liking how this is talked about the power of books and how they offer a sanctuary or escape from harsh reality. This book is a great example of why books should not be banned. Say it with me. Let's stop banning books. I kind of went down a rabbit hole recently to see what books are banned modern day, and it's going to vary library to library, but a lot of Sarah J. Maas books were banned, which I just thought was so funny. I did not see one thriller on that list. So they're going to ban romantasy, but not thrillers? Okay, sure. Not saying they should, but it's just kind of ironic. I don't know who's in control of banning books nowadays. We're starting day 4 off with a trip to Target to restock on some essentials such as batteries, snacks, straws, soap, and some face lotion I have never tried, so hopefully it doesn't break me out. No clue how this happened, but then somehow my feet led me to the book aisle to admire all the books I wanted to buy, but I reminded myself that I had books at home to read, so although Target was trying to entice me with their buy 2 get 1 promotion, capitalism am I right, I resisted. Alright, back to the video. I'm so confused. There's a lot of assuming going on, not just around the vampiric element, which I'm not even sure is a thing. I really don't know. Also, a Riverdale-esque gang has popped up with a literal Serpent King leader. Riverdale. Where's Jughead at? Just listen to this nonsense. This town is ingraining in its children. Wait, I need to put on my southern accent. Oh, well, zoos are places we hold creatures that are better off caged, kept contained. Kept contained, you hear? We don't even need to touch on the ethics around zoos to understand that there are so many things wrong with that sentence. What this guy is implying to Ruth is that she better behave or else she'll be caged away. Only obedient young ladies are allowed in this house. Apparently, I suffered through a little amnesic episode this morning because I had the bright idea to watch a horror movie, trying to be festive and all. But Sarah, there's a reason that you don't watch horror very often. Like, I can read horror and be perfectly fine, but seeing like actual like visual depictions is so unsettling and honestly nightmare inducing. Smile. Horrifying. I mean, honestly, it wasn't too bad. It was more so like psychologically unsettling. On a brighter note, I gotta work on my alligator. I love crocheting so much. It's just such a cozy activity. Here's its body, so I've been working on the head. I can actually also show y'all the flamingo I was working on in my last vlog. Still have no idea where I'm going to put these. What do I do with them? I don't know. They're just so cute to look at and make, so my inner child is just like screaming. I also do have an update on Midnight is the Darkest Hour. I have finished it. I'm kind of disappointed. It just lacked a bit of everything for me. One of the major issues I had in here was that the stakes did not have much weight to them unless I'm missing something. The stakes were that certain characters may go to jail or be used as a scapegoat, but for most of the book, there was really no substantial indicator that that would be the case. My favorite part was definitely the underlying romance. It was very angsty, but I kind of loved it. I always forget that Ashley Winstead also writes romance, so maybe this is a sign that I should read some of her romance. Let me know if you have in your thoughts. The ending in here I can foresee a lot of people disliking, but in this context, I thought it worked. It is ambiguous, but since what drives every character is this desire to be more to the world than what we can see, by ending the book in this way, the reader gets to play God and ultimately decide the character's fate and subsequently decide if they want to forgive them and find the good in what they have done or not. So what I think happens. To avoid spoiling it, I try to keep these spoiler free, but all I'm going to say is that in my mind, in my own reality up here, this story gets a happy ending. I haven't even told you my star rating. I'm going to give this either 3 stars, 3.25. Post Sarah, you get to decide that. You're welcome. Can I just tell y'all how much I love Summerween? Summerween, better than Halloween. Ooh, hot take. All right, moving on to our next book. I'm kind of leaning towards a horror. I know I just watched one, but like its movie counterpart, it's a genre I don't read much of. And for me at least, part of the fun of readathon is pushing yourself and perhaps reading something that you would not normally read. I am pretty sure I only have one horror on my TBR. Now finding it, that's a challenge. Oh, here it is. The Last House on Needless Street by Katarina Ward. This is a horror, but I believe it has more so creepy, eerie vibes rather than gory, like what just happened. I wish I had taken my eyes out so I could have never read that vibes. So I'm going to start this and I'll update you guys later. I've been so in the mood recently for some chocolatey, gooey goodness. And you know what? Whipping up a tasty treat for yourself is actually good for you. It's called self-care. I got some brownie accoutrements here, and we're gonna make some, not just any regular plain Jane brownies, some spooky brownies. Yeah, that's right. Let's get to it. We are back once again in the dark, but this time, avec du chocolat. Gluten-free, of course, or else I would be curled up, withering in pain on this couch right behind me. Are the brownies a bit underdone? Yes, but that is just how I like them. So I've gotten through a good chunk of my book and am about 200 pages in, and honestly, I am bored. I kind of want to DNF this, but that wouldn't make for a great video. And again, I'm trying to push myself by reading a genre I don't read much of. This is a novel where the plot slowly unravels, and you don't really know what's going on, but but then over time some things start to make sense until they're put into a new light, and then you have to reconsider what you thought made sense. In this book, we're following the inhabitants of this boarded up house at the end of Needless Street. In this house lives Ted, a recluse man whose mind isn't quite working how it should be, either due to drugs or alcohol or some underlying condition. Ted also has a daughter, Lauren, who comes to visit him periodically. A cat who is definitely the best part of this novel. The cat's humor is really all I'm reading for at this point. I love how she calls all humans Teds. The cat's like, my human is named Ted, so everything that looks somewhat like my Ted is therefore a Ted. There's a Ted walking a big hairy cat across the street. There's a Ted yapping on TV. I mean, for a cat, it's pretty sound logic. Look, I need some type of emotional connection in a book, and I'm not sure what that's supposed to be in here. Sorry, not sorry, it's not there. Also, I'm not one to yuck anyone's yums, garlic crackers and peanut butter anyone, but this guy keeps committing culinary crimes right under my eyes. It's actually kind of funny. Where did this guy come up with these recipes? I'm hoping things will pick up, but I'm inclined to believe that won't be the case. Way to be pessimistic, Sara. So when I'm not filming, I don't wear this band-aid on my finger. I'm really just wearing it because my nail has fallen off and it is in the process of growing back. You don't want to see that. I don't want to see that while I'm editing. I'm doing us a favor here. But I actually cut myself on my finger this morning while making breakfast. So I do need the band-aid today. I see, I'm continuing the trend of Sara injuring herself. Anyways, my package from Aritzia came, which I ordered like 3 days ago. That is crazy fast shipping. I thought it would take like, at least a short millennium, like all packages that are not from Amazon. If you don't care about this, sorry, this will be quick. I just like to share with y'all what I like to see in vlogs. Okay, Aritzia. Their items are pretty penny, but they were having a little sale. Something's kind of fancy when it literally is shipped in a bag like this. The first piece I picked up is this top, which I think is just going to be such a staple to, go out to dinner in or anywhere you want to look a little nicer in. Okay, that neckline is everything. I am obsessed with it. And then I got another sweat set because I am not exaggerating when I say this. I live in these 3 out of the 4 months of the year. I especially love sweat sets for when I have an early class and I just need to throw something on real quick, but I don't want to look like a mess. I try to go for the hot mess type look. I got the sweatshirt in a size up so that it would have like an oversized type feel and so that it's super roomy and comfy. Yes. 1,000 times yes. Aritzia's loungewear is so comfortable, high quality, sounds like I'm sponsored. I am not though, yes please. But I literally wear their sweats all the time, so although it's a bit more on the pricier side than say Target, I definitely get my money's worth. Target's loungewear though is actually really nice as well. This shirt, Target. Shorts I was wearing yesterday, Target. We love a balanced girly. I think I am in need of some coffee, so let's make some while we talk. It's the last day of Summerween. Sad times. 7-Eleven, free Slurpees. I'm not much of a Slurpee gal. I like to drink my death in the form of caffeine. I did finish The Last House on Needless Street. It was, something. I'll probably update you guys on that. I've been wanting to check out though the horror novellas that are all a part of the Creature Feature collection. There's like 6 in total. So I thought we could do that today. I don't expect nor do I want to read all of them. I really just am going to read however many until I get tired of reading short stories. Oh, if you're wondering why I'm using this machine instead of this espresso machine. Well, this one broke the other week. What's wrong with it? Beats me. I'm no mechanic. I think there are places you can take espresso machines to get them fixed, so I need to do that. As in the meantime, I've been using my old espresso machine, which does not make as great of coffee, but coffee's coffee. Yeah, the espresso machine that is over 6 years old and half the price is not the one that broke. Make it make sense. Voila. I want to preface this by saying that I think I'm the unpopular opinion, but on my channel, I am always going to give you the honest tea I'll give the book this. I did not have a minuscule speck of an idea where the plot was going the whole time. Was I intrigued though? No, I was bored. I didn't think this was absolutely terrible, and this does have substance to offer, which is especially apparent once you read the afterword. But then I got to thinking about how, one, the afterword really highlighted how the book felt like. The author changed her mind about the essence, what the book is actually about midway through writing it. And two, I don't think the afterword justifies how she went about depicting the disorder in here, and rather perpetuated some of the harmful stereotypes around it. Then again, this discussion is twofold because I appreciated how she highlighted some of the smaller aspects of the disorder not many people are aware of, but I think this novel would have had more of a positive impact, which, as she talks about in the afterword, is what she was trying to do, if she had unpacked / disproven some of the controversies rather than just highlighting some of the smaller aspects. And it's not like this was an overly negative depiction of this disorder, so I didn't really take that too much into account with my rating. Also, I'm no mental health expert. I am just a girl who has dealt with mental illness. But I know if I had not binge read this would have been a struggle to get through. I am giving this 2 stars, but I feel like the horror genre can redeem itself, which is also why I want to read some of the creature feature horror novellas. I got my coffee, my Kindle, and I'm going to cozy up and start the first book, which is The Pram by Joe Hill. I am pleasantly surprised. That was a lot better than I expected it to be. I don't want to go too into the plot as this is a short enough novel as it is, but to give you a quick synopsis, in The Pram we follow a couple who has been dealing with infertility, but after moving into a new rundown, that's an oxymoron, farmhouse, they get in their possession a baby stroller that seems to be emitting coos. Baby coos. But that surely can't be the case, can it? I'm giving this 4 stars. I liked the writing, I liked being inside our MC's slightly questionable mind. I didn't know this until I looked it up, but Joe Hill is actually the son of Stephen King. That's wild. I didn't even know Stephen King had a son. Not like I'm a kingy. What's the fan base of Stephen? I don't know. I'm going to have to check out some of Joe Hill's other books because I really enjoyed this. Alright, next I'm going to hop right into Ankle Snatchers by Grady Hendrix. I've now not only finished Ankle Snatcher, but also It Waits in the Woods by Josh Mallerman. I was just going in series order. There's no connection between any of the novels, so it doesn't really matter how you read them. Do you know what these books remind me of? Creepypastas. For those not chronically online, creepypastas in essence are short horror stories / legends that get spread around the internet and typically have an anonymous author. No idea why they're called creepypastas. Maybe there's a legend about a creepypasta. Ankle Snatcher, I enjoyed. Not a must read. I'm going to give it 3 stars. It was a really short 30-minute read, so there's not really much to critique it on, but it's basically about these monsters who live under your bed, and if you don't turn on a light before getting out of bed, they will snatch your ankles and drag you into the void of who knows what. It Waits in the Woods follows a young woman, Brenda, whose sister disappeared into the woods 3 years ago. Now, Brenda is adamant that the urban legend involving a bridge is what happened to her sister, so desperate for answers, she grabs her camping gear and sets a stakeout up in the woods. I really liked this one. It took a bit longer for me to become invested into the story, but worth it. I especially loved the filmmaking aspect in here. So surprising. I'm going to give this 4 stars. What I really like about the creature feature collection is that besides Grady Hendrix, these short stories enable me to sample different new to me authors that are fairly well established. On every cover, it says like New York Times bestselling author. Kind of a flex there. But coincidentally, they're authors I've never read from. Again, the stories were super quick. It took me about 2.5 hours to read the 3 books. I think that's going to be it for today's reading, but I'll definitely have to check out the last 3 books in the collection as I had a lot of fun. I have also updated my Summerween spread to reflect the reading I've done. I'm very proud of myself that I was able to complete all the prompts while also getting to some books on my TBR that I've been meaning to read. To do a little recap, the book I read in the dark was The Spare Room, which was such a fun and fresh read. The horror books I read were The Last House on Needless Street, The Pram, Ankle Snatcher, and It Waits in the Woods. Out of the 3, my favorite has to be The Pram, but following close behind that is It Waits in the Woods. The book with a night sky on the cover was Midnight's the Darkest Hour. A book with a 5-word title was also Midnight's the Darkest Hour. And then for a book that takes place over summer, I read The Spare Room. However, Midnight's the Darkest Hour also takes place in the summer. I don't know what it is with books referencing the 4th of July. Very fitting. I swear, 3 out of the 6 books I read had the 4th of July July in it. That is going to be it for Summerween 2024. As always, thanks so much, Gabby, for hosting this readathon. We wouldn't be here without you. Can't wait to do this again next year. If you participated in Summerween, let me know. What'd you read? Give me the deets. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. It really does help me. My channel out a lot. You can also comment, interact, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. I'd really appreciate it. I hope you all had a fantastic Summerween and are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.